Hello everyone and welcome to the video lecture on numerical method. So far we have discussed so many numerical methods to solve a system of simultaneous linear equation. Here in this video lecture we are going to discuss Crowd's method. So Crowd's method is a superior to Gauss elimination method and is often used for the solution of simultaneous linear equations. Also used for finding the inverse of a matrix. Among all the direct method, this is preferred as a software for computers. So let's see what the Crowd's method talks about. So Crowd's method is a direct method, also called as Crowd's triangularization method. Depending upon the values in the principal diagonal, we have the various decomposition methods. So let's see what exactly it means. So consider the system of equations a11x plus a12y plus a13z equal to b1. a21x plus a22y plus a23z equal to b2 and a31x plus a32y plus a3z equal to b3. So this is a system of simultaneous linear equation in the unknown x, y, z. So what we do, we will first write this in a matrix form. Ax is equal to b. Now so this method, decomposition methods, are based on the fact that every square matrix A can be expressed as a product of lower triangular matrix, which are denoted by L here, and upper triangular matrix, provided all the principal minors of A are non-singular. Now what does it mean by principal minors? So here the matrix A is nothing but the matrix of coefficients. So it will have in the diagonal elements of the form like this Aij. So if I will consider a minor of order 1, so what it will be? It will be A11, right? So this is the principal minor of A of order 1. So this has to be non-zero. Again, if I will consider a principal minor of A of order say 2, so it will be A11, A12, then A21, A22. So this also should be non-zero. Similarly, the principal minor of order 3 will be A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, and finally this one. So this also has to be 0, right? So if this condition is satisfied, then every square matrix A can be expressed as product of lower triangular matrix and upper triangular matrix. Now such factorization, if it exists, then it is always unique. Then depending upon the entries in the lower triangular and upper triangular matrix in the diagonal, we call particular method, or the particular methods are named. For example, if suppose in a lower triangular matrix we have elements like this, and upper triangular matrix particularly contains a diagonal elements as 1, right? Then the factorization method or a decomposition method will be called as a Crowd's decomposition method, which we want to study now in this video lecture, right? Now what is the case 2? In case 2, instead of 1 in the upper triangular matrix, what we have? we have 1 in the lower triangular matrix. Okay, then this is called a Doolittle decomposition method. And third possibility is if we have same entry in the diagonal of both lower as well as upper triangular matrix, then this method is called Cholesky's method, right? Cholesky's method. So let's see the working rule of Crouch method. So remember, for Crouch method we are going to factorize A as a product of lower and upper triangular matrix with strictly 1 in the diagonal of upper triangular matrix. Okay, now so what is the working rule? First of all, write the given system of equation in a matrix form. Ax is equal to b. Then let us assume A is equal to Lu with 1 in the diagonal of the upper triangular matrix. After that, we will put this A equal to Lu in the step number 1. So we have Lux equal to B. Lux is equal to beauty. Okay. Now, then we will take next step, student. Ux is equal to V. Okay. This is to be used in equation number 3, in step number 3. So this will take the form Lv is equal to B. Okay. After getting Lv equal to B, we will have the values for the unknown V, right? Ln V's can be evaluated in the previous steps. After getting V, we will put this back in the step number 4. So here we will put value of V. Again U will be known from step number 2. So X is the only unknown quantity. So solve this Ux is equal to V for getting the required solution. So I hope this method is clear to you all. Let's see with the help of example. Apply Crouch method to solve the equation. So according to step number 1, let's write this in a matrix form. Call it as equation number 1. Then here we will take A as Lu, where L is a lower triangular matrix. It means all elements above the diagonal is 0, and U is upper triangular matrix with 1 in the diagonal and all elements below the diagonal 0. Let's multiply these two matrices as per matrix multiplication. We will have such type of resultant matrix, right? Recall how to multiply matrices to matrix. So take the row of the first matrix, multiply it with the corresponding column of the second matrix. So first row, first column, so L11 into 1 plus 0 into 0, so 0 plus 0 into 0. So what we have? L11 plus 0 plus 0. So finally L11. Now as first row is getting multiplied with the first column, so position of this resultant is 1 1, right? Now let's multiply first row with the second column. First row with the second column, so position is 1 2 position. So whatever resultant we get, we are going to write it over here. In this way, these two matrices are multiplied. Now, when we have two matrices equal, it means their corresponding elements are equal. So why we are equating this? Because here in a lower triangular matrix and upper triangular matrix, we have some unknown to be evaluated. What are the unknown? L11, L21, L22, L31, L32, L33. 6 unknown in lower triangular matrix and 3 unknown in upper triangular matrix. This we wish to obtain. So for this, equating corresponding elements of the two matrices. So what is the sequence? Column 1, column 2, column 3. Like this I have presented table over here. What we will do? We will first equate the element of the first column. Okay. So L11 equal to 3, L21 equal to 2, L31 equal to 3. So we get element of the first column. Then after that we will equate element of the first row. So 1 is already equated, only 2 more are left. So L11 U12 equal to 2. As we already know L11, so put the value of L11 over here, you will get U12. On similar line, you will equate next element of the first row. that is L11 U13 is equal to 7. So this gives L11 is already known, so U13, right? So like this, first equating element of the first column, then element of the first row, and then you can equate the remaining elements. So I will go for the second row and then the third row. So in this, the known which we obtain in the previous steps are to be used in order to get the unknowns, right, in each step. So like this, we have obtained all the 9 unknowns. So immediately we will write the lower triangular matrix and upper triangular matrix, right? So using equation 2, after getting L and U, using equation 2 in equation 1, you can see equation 1 is this. Okay, so we have LUX is equal to B. Okay, call it as equation 3. So we have reached up to equation number 3. Now what we do, step number 4, according to step number 4, we will have one more substitution, that is Ux is equal to V. Put this in equation number 3. So it will take the form LV, because Ux is V, so Lux is equal to B was there. So when you will put Ux is equal to V, so it will become LV equal to B. Now in this, L is known to us as well as V is also known to us. So only unknown quantity is V, and it will be a column matrix of order 3 by 1, right? Because here coefficient matrix was 3 by 3, so V will be a column matrix of order 3 by 1. If this A will be a 4 by 4 matrix, then V will be a 4 by 1 column matrix. Okay, now so equating corresponding elements, now you can find here that we are getting the unknown from the first equation, 3V1 equal to 4. So you will get V1 equal to 4 by 3. This is to be used in the next equation. Okay, so the next equation which we obtain by multiplying second row with this column, so is 2V1 plus 5 by 3 V2 equal to 5. So put the value of V1 over here, you will get V2. So from the second equation I am getting this next unknown, and finally from the third equation we will get the last unknown. So as we are getting the unknown from the first equation, so this process of obtaining the solution or getting the solution is called a backward substitution, or is called a forward substitution. Okay, we are getting from the front side, okay, from the first equation. So this is called forward substitution. Okay, so by forward substitution I am getting the value of V. So that is V1, V2, V3. Once we get V, we will put this back in equation number 4. That will give us the unknown, which is a required solution of the given system of equation. So let's put this in equation number 4. So we have Ux equal to V. X is x, y, z. Again simplify. So here you will find that you will get the solution from the last equation. So this process of obtaining the values of unknown is called a backward substitution, because first we get z, then it is to be used in the previous equation to obtain y, and then finally in the first equation. So this process is called backward substitution. Okay, from the last equation we are getting to get the solution. So this is called as a required solution. So I hope method is clear to you all. So it's a very simple method. You just have to memorize some set of formulae. Once that is done, then it will be very easy for all to obtain the required solution.